Heidi ho, Heidi ho, Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today, I thought we would finish up our envelopes that we started in the last video. So as you can see, I've got mine covered. And I want to show you how I'm going to attach these to my pages. Now, I'm going to attach them to these two pages. One's going to go on this page that I covered with pattern paper, and the other's going to go to one of these pages. Now, I did just go on and take my signatures apart because, well, honestly, they kept coming apart as I was putting things in them. So I just took them apart. It was easier that way. And then we'll just put them all back together as we're getting ready to put them in the book. And I just made two simple tags out of a piece of double-sided cardstock. Just put some eyelets in it, and that's just what I'm going to use for my tags. So here's what I have. I took the envelopes, and if you'll remember, we opened them and we added our book page on the inside. Now, one I want to open from the top, and the other, I think, I want to open from the side. Now, you know me. I change my mind. You know, lickety split and split lickety. So I might change my mind on this and have them both come from the top. It's going to depend on these envelopes. But let's do the top load first, okay? So if you want it to come from the top, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here's what you're going to do. So you've got your envelope opened this way. This top flap on the inside. Okay, what you want to do, you want to lay your envelope flat, and you want to take this little flap right here, and you want to cut it. You don't want to cut it off. Don't cut it off, but you want to cut it a little bit shorter, okay? You want to leave it on there because that way the inside of your envelope, this piece where it attaches, it doesn't get raggedy. If you were to cut it off, this would get really raggedy, you know, coming in and out, gluing things down. So leave it there because that gives you a continuous piece of paper. So leave it there, but just cut it a little bit shorter. See, leave it there. Now it's one piece of paper. But by cutting it shorter, it doesn't interfere with your window. And that's all I took off. I just took off a sliver. It's not going to interfere with my window now. Now, I can glue that down. That's all I'm doing now is I'm gluing this down. And I'm just gluing down the window. That little flat part that I just showed you. That's the only part I'm gluing down. Okay? So I'm going to glue that down. Just like that. Okay? Now, this one, okay, now it can come up this way. My tag can come out. Hold on. My tag can come out this way. Okay, just like this. And this is going to wrap around my page. This part is going to wrap around my page. Now, I want that to wrap around this page, because this has some green in it. Oops. So I'm going to line it up on my page where I want it. And when I covered this, I had my envelope laying flat. And I covered it from, let me see if I can show you, from just inside the window. You can see the paper. Let me show you over here. Right here, that little sliver right there, that's the scrapbook paper. That little white sliver, that's the scrapbook paper. So I covered my paper. My paper is just a sliver over the window and then all the way out. It's one whole piece, okay? And then I folded it. I didn't use a scoreboard, so don't use a scoreboard because it will tear. It's too thick. Just fold it, gently fold it. If you have to, put your ruler in there, but just gently fold it. And then take your fingers and just push it down. Okay? It will work. And do it while your glue's wet. Okay? Use your glue stick. Don't use wet glue. Use a glue stick. Okay? Do the same thing over here. Between here and what would normally be this flap. You know, your top flap. Go from a little bit inside the window. It's right there. See that little white piece of paper? All the way out to what would have been the top flap of your envelope. Once you get that down, gently fold that down, okay? And then take your fingers and massage it down. Just massage it down, just gently. And then all you have left are these two top and bottom pieces. And then just glue your strips over top of them. And then do your inking if you're an inker around it. Okay? Now, this, I'm going to glue. I need to glue around the bottom. Okay, now my tag isn't big enough to come all the way across the bottom. So I'm going to glue right here across the bottom of the window. So I'm going to take a bead of glue and I'm going to come across the bottom of the window like this. Just like that. So when that closes, it's going to close and not let my tag fall all the way in so it doesn't get lost. Okay? Now, I can go on and close this up completely. And yes, I could make this a little secret pocket if I wanted. We've done that many, many times. But for this, I don't particularly want to do it on this one. But, you know, there are other videos that I have that show you how to do that. But I don't want to do it on this one. I might show you that on another video later. And then we're going to close that shut like that. Okay. And then we need to come up the side. And I'm just coming up the side here. I'm just following the window. All the way up the side. See, there's my glue. I'm coming all the way up the side. Just like that. And I can go on and wipe this off. I came out too far here. That's okay. Don't worry about that. If you did what I did, don't worry about it. Okay, so make sure this is down. Okay, so now we're going to wrap this around our page. We're going to bring it into our page. Now, I don't want it to be all the way to the bottom, and I don't want it to be all the way to the top, okay? And this is a little pocket that I added up here on the top, right here. This is just a little pocket right here. And I want this right here, and I might add another little strip of green down through here to hide that. And if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now. Because once it's on there, I can't get to it. So, to do that, I need to cut it right now and do that. Otherwise, I'm stuck. Okay, so let's go on and get this on here. Now, this could be a little tuck here on the back if you wanted. If you want it to be, you know, a little tuck here, then don't glue this. glue across the top like that, and glue across the bottom, but don't glue in the middle. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. So now I can have a little tuck right there. It's not a big one, and it's not very deep, but it's a little one. But I don't know. Do I want one? I'll leave it just in case I decide I want it. Okay. And if I use it, I use it. Okay. So I'm going to put this back here. Okay, so I want this centered on my page. Like that. Now, once I get it where I want it, I'm going to turn it around. Now, before I do this, though, I need to round my corners, because I'm going to round the corners on my pages, and this is going to be in my way. And if I don't do this now, I'm not going to be able to do this later. So I need to go on and do this page now. The other pages with the smaller pockets we've done, I'll be okay. And you know what? I think I'm going to go on and round this too. Okay. Since it's going right here close to the edges. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to glue this whole thing. Now, you could make this flap smaller if you wanted. You could make this a lot smaller. But because this was so heavy, I left it its full size. This is a really heavy structure that I've made with this cardstock. Now, if you don't have cardstock, don't worry about it. You can use book page from the book that you've taken apart. You can use your sew-in tissue paper. That would be really cute. That would be really cute on one. You could use a combination of book page and sew-in tissue if you wanted. You can use anything you want. Now, I've made these, and I make these in just about every journal that I make. So you can use anything that you want. Now, I have this. This is just called tape measure tape. And there's a little decoration on here. I'm just going to put that down right there. Okay, so now we have that down. Now, I'm not going to try and put anything in these pockets, but I do want to show you that this is a pocket here, because these are not dry yet. I might be able to get that in there. So now for this, now remember, this isn't dry in here yet, so I'm not going to leave this tag in here. But this tag will go in here. And you'll see this tag like this. I hope I didn't make it too big. If I did, I can trim it down. I did. I made it too tall. So let's make it a little bit shorter. Let's see if we cut it off right about here. Let's see if that helps. Let's see if that helps. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I can trim it more later. Okay, so there's that, and it's going to flip out. Now, I got to be careful. It's still wet. It's going to flip out, and then I'm going to put a pocket down here. But I need to let that set up and dry a little bit. So I'm going to put that one. You know where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it right up here in front of me to dry. And I'm going to do something very similar to this one. Now, because I don't want to trim this tag down, I'm going to measure this one. And I want that to stick up right about there. So I think I'm going to measure the inside of this one. And see how far down this one can go. All right, so this one can go right about here before I need to glue. Right there. All right, so right there's my pencil line. See my pencil line? Now, oh, that's right. I wanted this one to come out the side, didn't I? So let's see if we can figure that out. Let me get my pen in here. Okay, so to be able to get this out the side, to have it come out like this, oops, to have it come out this way, okay? I still have to put it on this side of the page, okay? And it's going to flip over. Okay, this one's going to flip up like this. We're going to attach it to the top of the page. So that means that this can be glued closed, just like that. And this flip, this piece up here, I can, I think I'm going to use, now this is just a cutoff from one of the pages that I trimmed when I was putting this together. I'm going to put this on there to help reinforce this piece on the inside here. In here, this on the piece of this coffee dyed paper. And I need to put some glue in here. I missed this corner. Let's put some glue in here. Come on. Let's put some glue in there. And let's go on and put that piece up here. And that'll make this piece a little bit stronger. It also has a different color. Oops. Okay, now I also need to round these corners. Let's see if we can get these corners rounded on this. With this tissue paper here, I don't know if I can or not. But we're going to give it a shot. Let's see if I can get them in here. Well, maybe. Oh, that worked. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right, good deal. Okay. So this is going to flip across the top. Now, let's put, hold on here. Let's see if I can get these rounded any. Okay, that one's round. This one is not round. That's better. Okay, so the top of this, top of your envelope then will get glued closed. And this right here, instead of wrapping around the side of your page, you can glue it on the inside, but just like with the top, you have to trim it smaller so it doesn't show through, because right now, look, it shows through. But you don't want to cut it. So you need to figure out how much it shows through. So let's get our pencil. And let's cut it back. And we'll cut mine back right to those words. then I want to make sure my bottom is straight. Okay, good. Now let me check it. Okay, there, see, it's not inside the window. Not inside the window. Okay, good. So I can glue that down, and then I can put glue below my pencil mark, only below it. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go on and glue this down like that. And I think maybe to take out some of this bulk, I'm going to do a little bit of trimming here. That might help a little bit. Let's get this glued down. Okay, let's get this down. Make sure that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's nice and flat now. Now, only below my pencil line. Below my pencil line. So, I'm even going to take it maybe down a little bit further. Okay, I don't need to go out that far. Just right there. Okay. And then all the way across the bottom. And up the side. Yeah, I think I am going to take it across the bottom here, just to make sure I don't miss anything. There we go. Now let's clean all the glue off. There we go. Now we can glue that across the top of the page. Now let's make sure that this is going to fit. Now everything is wet, so I do still need to be careful. Comes in and out the top, which is not where we want it to come in and out of. So let's make sure about the side here. Oh no, I glued the side closed. Oh darn. Well, I guess it's coming in and out the top again. Darn it. Well, that didn't work. Oh, darn. Okay. Well, it's going to be a flip with a tag coming in and out of the top. Well, that'll be interesting. Okay. So that's going to go there. Oh, my gracious. How in the world does this flip come in and out of that tag? All right, so I've got some fabric washi tape I want to use. Oh my gosh, why in the world did I do that? Were you all yelling at me when I did that? You should have been if you weren't. If you weren't, you should have been. You should have been hollering, no, 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 no. I know when I watch my favorite creators and they're doing stuff like that, I say to myself, and she just closed. She just closed it. All right, so I added a little bit more color to the page with some layers. Let's see if I can get that out from under there. Let's see if I can get that squishy little thing out from under There, that's better. Goofy girl. Come on now. There. Let's see. Oh, well, yeah, it does go in, doesn't it? I think I'm gonna have to make it shorter since it's sticking out over here. Oh my gracious sakes, Lori. Sorry guys, you're gonna lose your arms. Sorry about that. You just lost part of your arms. Sorry, dudes. All right, let's put it right there. There. Okay. All right, so there's those two. Now, this one, I want to kind of squish things down. Okay, so now we've got 2 more pages done. That's really bugging me. Okay, that's where I wanted it. All right, so 2 more pages done. Now, I want to decorate the front of that. And I have a few things in mind here. I have this little sewing box that I want to put right there. And I have, let's see, this one is the one that flips up. Okay, so all this stuff has to go flat. So this, you know, now that I see that on there, that little sewing box looks like it's in it, because I was going to do the thread with it. But it looks like a jewelry box, doesn't it? Even though it's a sewing box. And I was going to do the thimble with it. But that looks like a jewelry box. Huh. Now, I have one that's got... Now, see, this one I put... what is that stuff called? I put glossy accents on, and then when it dried, I went like that and kind of cracked it, and it looks really old. And to make it look older, you just go like that over the cracks. And let me show you. So it makes it look older, makes it look like an older piece of ephemera. And this is glossy accents. You guys are not going to believe what I'm looking at out my window. That's glossy accents. And you can use that on any type of paper to give it a 3-dimensional thing. And I love to use it on pieces like this. And I just use a thin coat on it. And then when it dries, I take them in, I kind of crack them a little bit like that. Not a lot, because I don't want it to come off. And then I just use the vintage photo on them to give it, because I don't want it shiny. I don't want it to be shiny. And it takes off the gloss and it makes it look older. So I wonder if maybe that... No, that's too round. See, that looks like a bell. We need something else here. What about if we put on a big button? I have some buttons now that looks like a thimble. The smaller one looks like a thimble. Maybe if we did something underneath it. Now I have a little pair of scissors, a little tiny pair of scissors. I wasn't planning on using them, or I would have got them out. These might work. Let's see about the little scissors. Now that might work. No, that looks too much like a bell. I think I'm going to use the glossy accents on that. Maybe like that. All right, so let's glue this down. And I'll use that little thimble and I'll show you how you do it. Okay, now let's do this as one whole piece. And maybe some black thread is what it needs. I think that might be what this needs, because it's just looking too flat. So let's put some black thread with it. Oh, that's better. That's what it needed. It needed a little bit of that dimension with the black thread. There. Oh, I like that much better. Okay, so now that page is done. Much, much better. And I really, really like that on that sewing paper. Much better. All right, so that page is done. Okay, to use glossy accents, let me show you how you do it. Let me put it on something, because once you get it on, you have to keep it flat. Okay, so let me put it on this blue board here so you'll be able to see it. Now, and I'll bring you down so you can see it, because this piece is really small. Now, the key is don't shake it, okay? Let me bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Now, I have another one that I can do it on. And maybe let's do it on this. We'll do it on this one too, so you can see it. And we'll do it on these scissors. Okay, we'll do it on the scissors. Okay, so the key is you don't shake it around. Okay, and you pick your place that you want it to go. Now, on this thimble, I want it to be in the middle, underneath. Okay, I need to clean out the tip. And it's basically a glue, okay? So after you clean out the tip of it, make sure that you wipe off your needle. because it will make a big blob on your needle. And then your needle is kind of useless. Okay. Okay, so you very slowly will draw, you basically are going to outline what you want, and it'll just fill in and settle on its own, like that. Now, that's all I want to do on that, and I'm just going to scoot it to the side and let Glossy Accents do its thing, except keep my finger out of it. There. Now, I need to wipe this off of my hand. Otherwise, I'll have it stuck on everything. Now, for this flower, if I want to do this flower, I need to start in the middle. And then I'll work my way out like that in bigger circles because it's going to flow. Now, once I get to the edges, I stay on the edges and it will catch up with what's in the middle. But it won't go past where I've put it on the outside. So it builds itself like a little dam. Now, if I wanted the whole thing to do that, I could fill in the whole card. So right now, the only thing that's going to have on it is this rose. Okay? So I can scoot that out and it'll dry. For these scissors, if you want the scissors to stay this color, do nothing. If you want them to be accented with your ink, you have to do it now. Because after you get it on, you can't change the color of them. So if I want to ink them like down the sides and highlight them like this, or ink down the sides of them, I need to do it now. Like this. Because once Glossy Accents hits them on the sides, you can't change them. Oops. Oh, here, I can take this little backing paper off. Like that. Now, I'm just using vintage photo on them. Oops. Now, I want to be able later to cut out the center like we did on the scissors in a previous video. So, I don't want to get anything in the center. So, to do that, I'm going to start down here at the bottom. I'm going to come down, come all the way to my tip, come all the way down, kind of fill this in and let it do its thing. And then I'm going to turn it around. And then I'm going to go around that circle and just a really light, I'm barely touching this bottle. Like I said, I want to be able to cut out those holes or punch out those holes. And if I get this filled in there, and then I try to do it, the whole pieces will be ruined. Now the rest of it's just too intricate for me to even attempt. So I'm just going to use it as one piece. Now I am leaving the center between the top of the blades. I am leaving that alone. But the bottom of the blade is the thickest part Okay, now for the little sewing box. I'm going to do the whole thing, but I'm going to do a light coat. And then when I come back, I can do like I did on the other one. And I can decorate it however I want. And on this one that we're doing, this will be the one that you'll get to see me actually do something with. Now this will take, I'll let these dry for a full 24 hours because some of this stuff is really going to be a little thick on it. But this is, I'm going to do this rather thin so I can crack it. And I want to be able to crack the scissors. And probably that rose if I didn't do it too thick. But this one, I want to be able to decorate. I want to be able to put, I want to be able to put some thread in the box. You know, just make a gathering of thread. And glue it in the box. But this is what you do with it. And you just need to let it dry for 24 hours on something flat. So grab you an old cutting board, you know, like what I have. Now, I bought this one at the Dollar Tree. If you don't have a Dollar Tree, go to Dollar General. You don't have a Dollar General, go in Walmart, go in, I know some people still have Kmart's. We don't have a Kmart still here in southwestern Pennsylvania. They closed them all. I used to love our Kmart. Wherever it is you shop, and get one of these little plastic, the little tiny one. I think it's an 8.5 by 11 size. The little plastic, I think it's plastic. I don't know what it is actually. Cutting boards. And the reason I say plastic before anybody gets their panties in a twist is because you can wash them. They're reusable. You can wash them. You can use them also as cutting boards with your knives. You can wash them, get your inks off of them. You can use them for things like this. You can use them gently with your heat guns. So they're not, you know, destroying your dining room tables, your work surfaces. There we go. They are very durable because they're cutting boards. They're meant to be used in the kitchen. So you can, you know, what we do here in our craft rooms is nowhere near what you're going to do with them in the kitchen. So you can pretty much do in your craft room with them anything that you choose. All right, so I'm going to sit this behind me, and I'm just very gently going to pick it up so I don't knock them on the floor. Okay. There we go. And that second crafting surface that I showed you in a previous video is where I've put them. And there we go. Now I'm going to lift you back up here, readjust you. Alrighty, and I'm going to show you what we've gotten done today and how we're looking on our pages so far. So this is what we have. We got this page done. And we got this page done. So we got our envelopes done. And in our book, that is great. So these are our empty pages. We've got this page done. Here's our button jar all dried and in the book. And then I decorated the back of it. So that one worked out rather well. I liked that one. Here is this one all dried up and in the book or on a page. And there it is back here. And here's a little tuck. Oops. Whoops. And this little card is can go right in there. Just like that. I really like that one. That one turned out nicely. And we got that one done, I think, in the previous video. I like that one too. Let's put that empty page up there. So far, we've gotten all these pages decorated, at least on one side. So now we can turn them the other way and start working here or on here. Yeah. All right, so we'll turn these over and we can start working on the backs of them. There. We'll put those back in the mix. We have all these to do. I'm excited. Boy, we're just moving right along. But look how chunky it's getting so far. See, I told you. I make a chunky junkie, don't I? Okay, so I want to thank you guys for joining me today and for helping me decorate my journal and having some fun. And I know you'd rather look at this fun stuff rather than my dirty desk that I need to clean off. So I'll put these back down here for you. I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I'm awfully glad that you're here with me in the craft room around the table. And I hope that you're making a sewing journal with me, because it sure is fun crafting with friends. And I hope that you have some of your friends joining you making a crafting journal or a sewing journal. So until I see you again in our next video, ta-ta for now.